Hello, everyone. Welcome to our weekly live. I'll give you guys a second to hop on here. There's always a delay. Welcome. Who's excited to talk about overcoming obstacles? I'm going to share with you the secret. Hi, Jennifer. Can you hear me okay? I'm all about sharing secrets in this group. Who is excited? Julia. Hey, Becky. Hi. Woohoo. Okay, so earlier this week, I created a poll. And hello. So I created a poll earlier this week, and I asked you guys to pick a category, because there's three main categories that we identify with obstacles in our business that keep us from signing clients, making money, and so they usually falls into one of three categories. Either we have obstacles around money, having enough money, collecting or creating money, money in general, thoughts about like drama about money, scarcity, all kinds of anything about money, right? And then a lot of times, this is a big category, is just knowledge. It could be knowledge about how to find clients. It could be knowledge about how to coach your clients, not feeling like you are expert enough to actually help people and charge. So those ones are kind of really intertwined too. So we're going to kind of do an example today that kind of will play off of people who have thoughts about charging. But if you have thoughts about charging or money, it probably means you have thoughts about not having enough knowledge. And then the other category is obviously time. Time is a big one for a lot of people. So I might even do a whole training on time or each one of these categories another day, if that's something that you guys would be excited about. So you guys let me know if that's something you're excited about. But today we're just going to give, I'm going to give it the lesson as it applies to no matter which answer you picked. Even though we're doing a money example, I want you to use this tool and apply it to whatever feels the most real for you as your obstacle. All right? And so I want to talk about this idea of overcoming obstacles to sign clients, because if we sign clients, we make money and we're successful in our business, right? So the first rule about overcoming obstacles is we have to understand, number one, that we are responsible for our ability to sign clients. So no matter what the obstacle is, this is the number one rule. We have total and 100% responsibility over that result. Always, right now, and all of the time. Right? Everybody agree with that? The second we think it's something outside of us, the second we think that, it's Facebook's fault, or it's this circumstance in our life, it's our boss's fault, he's asking us to work overtime, or it's our husband who's picking up these shifts and now we're stuck with the kids, whatever it is, the second we think that obstacle is the reason we're not able to grow our business, we lose all of our power, okay? So that's the first rule. We kind of go into this lesson all agreeing that we are 100% responsible for our ability to sign clients, all right? So that is the best news that we could possibly have today, right? Why is that the best news? Because that means we actually have control over solving for it. The second it's something outside of us, there's nothing we can do to fix it. So I'm going to show you how to overcome obstacles today. You guys ready to have your mind blown? So I'm going to use this tool that I use in my coaching a lot. All of my clients on here will know about it. And the tool that we're going to use today is The Model by Brooke Castillo. Everybody know Brooke Castillo? Anybody know her or her model? I'm going to give you guys a refresher about what the model actually is so that we can understand the lessons and it makes sense. So in the model, right, it's very simple the way she breaks it down. There, at the top of the model, everything in life that you feel like is an obstacle, whether it's your time, your money goals, your knowledge as a coach, your expertise, your knowledge about business and marketing, whatever it is, falls into this like category at the top of the model called circumstances, right? So we have this thing like, maybe your circumstance is that you are in certification right now to become a coach. So your circumstance, that would go in your circumstance line. It's neutral. Everybody can prove that you're getting certified to be a coach. And then the next level of the model is the T line. I moved too quickly past the C line. The most important thing you need to know about whatever your circumstance is, whether you're in certification, whether you're a newbie coach, and you're trying to make your first 5K, the circumstance is always neutral, right? It's not positive, it's not negative, it's not good, it's not bad, not a lot, it's not a little, it just is, okay? It just is a fact, right? There's no motion to it. But then on the T line is where we have a thought in our brains. Our brains like to do these funny things with circumstances all of the time, all day long, where a circumstance will happen, someone will say something to you, and that's now a circumstance, it's a fact, they said it, but our brains will have a thought about it immediately, and that thought is just like a sentence that happens in our brains. It can be a quiet sentence in the back of your mind, it can be something obvious you're thinking, but you have a thought about the neutral circumstance that happened, and your thought will either be something that's positive or negative, and how you know it is one of those things, or your thought could be very neutral, it could create a very neutral feeling, is because how you know is because your thoughts create your feelings. So as soon as you have a thought about this circumstance in your life, you have a feeling right away. That feeling is an emotion. It's like this vibration that shoots through your body. So sometimes when we have a thought, it creates a feeling of excitement, and it feels like this vibration that's very fast. And then sometimes we have an emotion that's fear or nervousness, and they can feel very similar in our bodies. So whatever it is, it's creating an emotion, right? And then with that emotion, no matter what the emotion is, it's going to drive you to do something, whether you realize it or not, whether you realize the reason you're doing something, the reason behind what you're doing or not doing. If you're avoiding and procrastinating, it's driven by a feeling. If you're being super productive and taking action, it's driven by a feeling. So no matter what we do, and results as it pertains to our obstacles, we're going to talk about obstacles today, just know that whatever you choose to do was driven by a feeling you were experiencing, okay? And so whatever we do driven by that feeling is going to create a result in our life, all right? And the results that we create in our life are always a direct reflection and a direct proof and evidence of whatever it is that we think, okay? So the reason why I think everybody needs to have this base level of understanding about what the model is and why it's so important is because no matter what your obstacle is, I'm going to use a money example, whatever it is, the obstacle is only an obstacle because of the thought that you are assigning, right? The obstacle is really your obstacle thought. The thought that you're having that something is a problem for you, okay? Because how we know it's true is that same circumstance could be not a problem for somebody else, right? So I'm going to use an example to make this all of these letters super crystal clear for all of you, all right? Maybe your thought is, I'm a new coach, or I'm getting certified, that's a lot of money. Whatever the thought is, that means you're making it into a problem or an obstacle in your mind, all right? Maybe you are in this group because you have a thought, I should be charging high ticket, or I should be charging 5K. I've heard people charge 5K for a year of coaching. I should charge 5K for a year of coaching. Right? This happens all of the time. So, and sometimes we have multiple thoughts, right? I should be charging high ticket, but maybe we also have another thought of like, high ticket, that's a lot of money. So now we have two thoughts that are creating opposing feelings, right? This happens all the time, where we have all of these different cycles happening all at once. Are you guys with me on this? Do you have any questions about the model before I go into an example and really make it clear for you? Let me know you guys are still with me. Because no matter what your circumstance is, knowing that you have results over the circumstance, or responsibility over the results you create in your circumstance through this model will make everything clear for you. All right. You guys like my stars on the ceiling? I love those. All right, I think there's a delay with the comments, so I'm just gonna keep plowing through. Let me show you an example. All right, so maybe, so we'll talk about the 5K program. You have a thought, I want to charge high ticket. I'm gonna charge 5K for a year of coaching with me. All right, and that's your goal. You're like, I really want to make $5,000 in my business. It's like, if I could make $5,000, I know I'm really getting my coaching going. All right. Julia, do they glow? Yes, they do glow. I had my nieces and nephews over here to visit from Ohio, and they just I had them sleep in this room and made it all up for them. They were so excited about the glowing stars every night. It was awesome. So your thought is, I should be charging 5K for my program, or your circumstance is 5K program, right? Or you could just say 5K is the goal that you want your business to make, right? And you have a thought 5K, 5K is a large amount of money, or that's just a lot of money in general. Right? If you have a thought about it, I'm asking for a lot of money. So let's put that in the thought line. That's your one sentence in your brain that you were believing about this neutral fact, just this number out there about 5K, right? As soon as you think that's a lot of money, how do you feel when you think something's a lot of money? How does that make you feel? You're like, oh, that's so much money. Maybe it's, a lot of money that you're asking for. Maybe it's a lot of money that you're thinking about spending, but the thought is that's a lot of money. How does that make you feel? So for a lot of you, you're going to say uneasy or scared or fearful or awkward. Awkward talking about the money, awkward telling people it's 5K. Right? So when you feel that way around this neutral circumstance of your program's 5K, what do you do when you feel that way? As a coach, you're out there, you're showing up and serving, letting people know you're open for business, you're making offers. What do you do when you're decide to have a 5K program? And now you have a thought that's a lot of money, and now you feel fearful and awkward. How do you show up in your business then, as soon as you have that emotion? Some of you will hesitate. Second guess. That second guess is when you decide and then you change your mind and you undecide on your decision. Or some of you offer a discount, right? Maybe they're yeah, 5K is a lot of money. Can we do it for 500? You're like, okay, I'll just give you a discount. Because you're right, I agree with you, that's a lot of money. Right? Offer free coaching. You're like, well, I'm still a new coach. I'm just going to take on a few more beta clients. Because 5K, that's a lot of money. Right? When this happens, what result do you create in your business if this is the cycle? This is the pattern. You decide to launch, you're like, I'm going to launch this 5K program. It's going to be amazing. But then you think about it, you're like, but 5K, I've never charged 5K before. That's kind of a lot of money all at once. It's like a pretty big chunk of money. Now I'm a little fearful to tell people about it. I feel awkward even saying 5K. Ugh. Let me just think about it a little longer. Let me second guess who I even tell. Maybe I shouldn't offer it to that person. You hesitate a little bit. You're right. They think it's a lot of money too. Let me just cut them a deal. Let me just tell them they can do it for free first until I prove to them it's worth it. What result do you create in your business with that model? Excuse my lefty handwriting. Any lefties here? 5K is a lot of money in your model, right? So your goal is 5K. Your thought about it is it's a lot of money. The result you create reinforces the thought. You have more evidence of it now because you haven't created the 5K. You've created discounts and free coaching. Or you just stop making offers. How you know this is really happening is you just kind of stop making offers to people because you're really believe it's a lot of money to even tell people about. Yeah, no results with that model. Absolutely. Yeah, and here's the other thing that I want to talk about in terms of your clients, right? When you offer them a discount or free coaching, what does that do for the client's experience? Right? What do you think about that? We can come back to that too, but I want you to just recognize this first because I don't want you to go out and try and change. Like if you have a thought, and maybe your goal isn't 5K. Maybe you're just like want to make your first 1K, maybe it's 10K a month. You can insert your own circumstance here, right? This is the way to solve the obstacle because this is where the obstacle is. Right? This is neutral. Our thoughts about it are creating this obstacle that it's a problem, which create the result of having the obstacle. It's still an obstacle. So if this continues, right, if we're not aware of it, if we don't sit down and recognize and look at our obstacles this way, what happens if this pattern continues? If you stay in this pattern of thinking about 5K, for example, what will keep happening in your business? This is the pattern everybody needs to see. These 5 letters. Obstacles here. Plug yours in. Right? I think before we go out and try and solve for it and try and change the result we're creating, we just need to be super crystal clear about this pattern, how it's working, right? Does everybody see that having a 5K program has nothing to do with anything about the result you create? Whether you create 5K in your business or not, has nothing to do with that. Does everybody see that? That's neutral. The obstacle is here. The second you believe it's a lot of money or it's too big of a goal for you, or I don't know if I can make that much, it continues to be a lot of money and that's the result you create in your business. How do we know this isn't true? How do we know 5K isn't a lot of money? Let's disprove it then. This is how you solve for your obstacle. You have to disprove it. How do we know 5K isn't a lot of money? How do we know that? How do we tell our brains, brain, that's not true, that thought you're just believing, and I didn't even ask you to believe, but I recognize is there right now? How do I know this isn't true? Whatever the circumstances, we're using this example today, but how do you know that your obstacle isn't true? Right? How do we know it's neutral? So if I went out and I asked every single person on this planet, all 7 billion of them, if 5K was a lot of money, would they all have the same answer? would they all say the same thing about 5K? No, not. There'd be some people out there that are like, 5K, yeah, that's a lot of money. And some people would say, no, 5K is not a lot of money, right? And here's the most interesting part about people's thoughts about 5K. Some people will say 5K is not a lot of money, and they don't have any money at all. They're like zero money, zero income, unemployed, no money. Some people make $150K a year, and they look at a 5K and they're like, oh, that is a lot of money. $5,000? That is so much money. 5K is a lot. This doesn't have anything to do with the circumstance of their model, which is how much money they have. So what is it that makes 5K a lot of money? It's their thoughts, right? And this, I was thinking of this example yesterday because yesterday on Wednesdays, we have a class in the Online Coach Intensive. On Wednesdays, we talk about sales and enrolling clients. That's our Wednesday class. And one of my clients was mentioning yesterday that she's using the example of her mom, and she said, my mom is really not in a good place financially. Like, she's not doing well financially at all. And there's so many things that she will not spend her money on, and she has a lot of thoughts about money, but every single year, she'll spend $10,000 on a vacation. Every year. With no problems, no drama about it. So why is that true for her? Like, why is it possible for her to spend $10,000 every year and have $10,000 not be a lot of money? Is it because of how much money she has in her bank account? Or how much is coming in on her check every month? No. That's neutral. Always. The 10K vacation is also neutral. Right? She has a different thought about 10K on a vacation. So this was like a light bulb moment for me. I was thinking about that when she said that. I was like, you know what? I've done that before too. Like when I was making like 40K a year at my job, I spent 5K on a vacation to go see my friend get married. It was a destination thing. I was all in. I was like, yes, I will be there. And I was so excited. I was like, yes, this is going to be amazing. But I want you to think about what would have happened if the person that was selling me the vacation, right? I'm like, here, I want to pay the $5,000. Like, this looks like awesome. I can't wait to go here. And the person selling me the vacation was like, okay, but 5K, it's a lot of money. Are you sure? Are you sure you can spend 5K on a vacation this year? Because it's a lot of money. All at once. It's a big chunk of change. And that was his thought about it. What would have happened? Would that person have like sold me anything? Would I have gone through them to get my vacation? I had the desire to go get a vacation, buy it, plan it, all done deal. Would I have even bought from that person? And so then here's the really interesting part. Well, let's look at his model. No, he wouldn't have sold me that day, right? He would have been really afraid. He would say, that's a lot of money for her to spend. He would have been really afraid and awkward about it. And he would have second-guessed offering it to me. He might have even offered me discounts or something cheaper, something not as nice as what I wanted. And the result is I would have gone with somebody else. Right? I would have gone to somebody else. And so his result is, yeah, that was a lot of money for her. She didn't spend the money with me. Right? And 5K would have continued to be a lot of money to him. That would have continued to be his cycle. That would continue to be his thought. Are you all seeing this? I really want you to see this pattern. It doesn't matter what the obstacle is. It applies. You can do that. You can work with this same model. Right? Right? So when I bought from them, they had zero fear and awkwardness about me paying them to buy the vacation from them. They were all excited. They were like, this is the best deal ever. You're going to have the best trip. It's going to be the best experience. You're going to love it, right? So your emotions, the feeling that you have, around what you are offering, your coaching, will influence your client's ability to make a decision with you, right? I really want you guys to think about this, right? You know how I know 5K is not a lot of money? Because I don't think it's a lot of money. So I make a lot of offers for people to pay me 5K. I'm like, oh yeah, it's 5K. Do you want to lose some weight with me and change your life? Or whatever. People pay me $5,000 because of my thoughts about it and how I feel about them having that experience. And so for me, 5K, I create a lot of 5K goal, right? Your emotions around what you are thinking will influence the results you create. How you think about your obstacle. So when you think coaching is a lot of money, people shouldn't buy it, let's offer them a discount, when we cut them a deal, what happens for your clients? This is really important because I know a lot of you guys are still having drama about the 5K. I'm going to solve that for you, all right? When you have a thought, my program should be 5K, and that's what I want, but I also think it's a lot of money, and I feel awkward even asking for that or taking that from someone, and you offer them a discount, you offer them free coaching. Maybe it's because you're like, I have evidence of it. My client said it's a lot of money, and they don't have a lot of money right now. Maybe we can just do like $200. They're like, can we just do $200 first, and then I'll pay you over time if I see I like it. Maybe I'll just pay you until I start getting results. How many of you guys have a client say that to you, where they like try to come in and they try to like negotiate and cut you a deal, and they're like, maybe I'll just pay you a couple hundred, and then if I get results, because really what they're saying is they're worried they're not going to get results. They're like, but I'll pay you, let me just pay you a little first. Right? What's the difference for them when they actually pay the investment that you tell them the transformation is worth? You're like, this is the investment. What happens when they actually pay? This is really important. Everything on this lesson is important, so take notes and watch the replay, okay? What happens for your client when they actually pay, when they don't cut you a deal, you don't cut them a deal, offer them a discount? They now have ownership over their results in their model, right? They now have 100% responsibility. But when they're like, let's do a deal, can I get a discount? Let me just like pay you later if it works, if I lose the weight, or if I see results. Now who's very responsible for their results? But you have no control over their results. All you can control is your ability to show up for them, right? So how are you helping your client by transferring the responsibility away from them when they're the only ones that can ever create the result? They have ownership over it. So when they invest, 50% of their transformation comes from that investment. 50% of the value of your coaching comes when they invest with you. When you just offer free coaching, I want you to think about that. I really want you to think about the responsibility, whose hands it lies. So knowing that this is true, and knowing that if they think it's a 5K program and they're getting it for a discount, and now they have less of a transformation already by investing in you, I want you to think about how many different ways you can think about your 5K. Your 5K. So 5K is like what you think you should be charging for coaching, and you want to make your first 5K. Maybe you also have a thought that, $500, that's not a lot of money, right? What is that number for you where you just don't have any drama about it? Maybe it's 500, maybe it's your first 1K, right? How many different ways can you create the 5K goal? How many different ways can you create it? Can you offer your first 10 clients not a deal, but say, hey, it's $500 to coach with me, right? And you get your first 10 clients in the door, not because it wasn't as much money, but because you have a different thought about $500, that it's not a lot of money, that it's a steal, and of course they should sign up with you, right? You feel confident and determined and convicted. You offer a lot of coaching for $500, and you get a lot of clients sign up for $500, right? So you get your first, say, 10 clients. There's your 5K goal. But did the 5K change in any way? Like, did it have anything to do with, the 10 clients you got for 500 or the one client you got for 5K? No, the only thing that created the result was you had a different thought about what you were charging, right? Could you also have the same thought about 1K? This is like such a steal. Like of course they need to come get this transformation for 1K. Make a lot of offers, feel really confident and certain about your coaching, create a lot of offers and create a lot of clients, and sign 5 clients and create 5K. But here's what's going to happen. Now, I'm not saying you need to charge 500, 1,000, or 5,000. I want you to see that the obstacle is always in the T line of this model. So whatever you decide, you need to decide your reason for it. How you know you like your reason is how you feel about what you're charging, right? And so what's going to happen, though, when you start charging, say you're charging $500 in the beginning, or you're charging 1K, which is where I recommend start out, at least 1K, right? You cannot have drama about it. What happens when you get those first 5 clients in at 1K and they're all like, oh my gosh, this is the best program ever. You're literally changing my life, right? Is it because the program was 1K and not 5K that they got the better results? Is it because, would they have gotten better results at 5K than they did at 1K? No, it's because they valued the investment that you offered to them, and you felt really confident and good about the money. This is no big deal. This is amazing. They should totally buy it for 1K. Your clients borrowed that value from you. They actually paid the full price, and the investment that they're valuing. They get the other 50% of the experience. They get to have ownership over their results now. Your clients get amazing results. You're like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. Why am I charging 1K? This is so amazing. Of course it should be 5K to work with me. Yep, let's do it. Let's go deep. We're going to work for a full year. We're going to work on all of these things. Whatever they come to you to get results in, it's 5K. It's no big deal. This is what I want you to see is this is the pattern. If this cycle continues and goes unnoticed, you're going to keep creating this same obstacle in your life. It can be money. It can be how much money you have. It can be how much knowledge you have. Maybe the obstacle is that, you don't feel like, maybe the obstacle is circumstance. You're still in certification to become a coach, right? You're still getting your certification. So you have a thought about it that I don't know enough to help people. Work that model. How do you feel when you think you don't know enough to help people? Right? So once you see this pattern and how whatever thought you think is the obstacle is the exact result you're going to keep creating over and over in your business, it's going to keep being a problem until you solve for this, then you get to decide how many different thoughts you can have about the obstacle. How can you disprove that thought? What do other people think about this who don't make this obstacle a problem? Whether it's time, money, energy, knowledge, there's someone else out there in the world who has that same obstacle as you who's not making it a problem, right? Do you know there's coaches out there who are still in certification who aren't making that a reason they can't start taking on clients? Do you know there's coaches out there that work 80 hours a week who don't make their time an issue and still create clients and grow their business? Do you know there's coaches out there that don't have a lot of money coming in who don't make that an issue and still go out and sign clients and make money in their business? So whatever the thought is that feels very real for you, how can you go and have other thoughts about it. Like, what are 20 other thoughts you can have around your obstacle that you're having drama about, right? They're always neutral. Once you recognize that the obstacle is happening up here because it's something that you think is a problem, and that you're going to keep creating the result of the problem, if you continue the cycle, you can decide how you want to think about it. What do you want to decide, right? And then really like your decision. Maybe for you, you're like, I really want to finish my certification. That feels really good for me. I actually want that result. I want the result of not having clients right now, right? But be honest with yourself about what result you want. People will come in and say they want clients, and then they decide they don't want clients, right? This is why you have to be really clean about your model. Otherwise, you just spin and you feel really powerless to your obstacles. Like, I can't figure this out. I'm really confused. I don't understand why this is happening. Is this making sense to everyone? Did this blow you away today? It's neutral. Whatever you charge is neutral. If it's money and that's your obstacle, however much money you want to have, it's completely neutral. Maybe making your first 5K in your business feels like a lot of money. How do you know that's not true? There's a lot of people who make 5K every day in their business, and they're like, that's not a lot of money. Awesome. Awesome. Well, everybody go work a model today on your obstacle, and I want you to post it in the group. If you had a breakthrough on this, on your obstacle, share it with everyone in the group, because they might have the same obstacle as you, and that might be the thing that like helps them have a breakthrough too. So we're all here to help each other, all right? Post it in the group. Go work your own model. If it's not 5K, if it's 1K, if it's 2K, if it's 10K, work your obstacle around creating this neutral circumstance as your result in life, right? Your result is now your new circumstance. That's why we have 100% responsibility over it, because we created it. All right, my friends, that's what I have for you this week. Leave a comment if you're catching the replay too. Let me know if this was helpful. Let me know if you're going to do one of these models on your obstacle. I want to see it. I want to see you guys working through it. I'm really excited to hear from you. I'll talk to you guys later.